Hey everybody, Arturo Johnson here, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 8 lessons that I already learned in 2023 on our road to 10 million. So, number 1, going the cheap route is playing to lose rather than playing to win. And there's a saying that a cheap tattoo ain't good and a good tattoo ain't cheap. And the reason why that's important is because if you're looking to win, then you've got to go all in. You got to go all in with your time, your focus, and all of your resources. And this is important because you want to have all the forces of nature in your corner. And the way that you do this is because you go all in. And when you go all in, you have this one thing that's the 8th wonder of the world, and it's called momentum. Some people use it as compound interest, some people use it as a law of large numbers, but in actuality, the physics of it is something called momentum. And so, if you want to take your business to the next level, you've got to go all in with investing and reinvesting into your business, with your attention, and with your time. So, number 1 is if you're going to do it the cheap route, you're playing to lose and not playing to win. So the second thing that I've learned in 2023 on our road to 10 million is sometimes when it's broken, you can't fix it, and you just have to press the reset button. And this was a difficult one for me because as an entrepreneur, you spend so much time, blood, sweat, and tears building a thing. And then if it doesn't work, or it has worked and then it breaks, then you just keep trying to fix it over and over and over again. And I can remember back in the day, I had a Dodge Intrepid, and the transmission or the radiator kept breaking on this thing, and I just kept putting thousands and thousands of dollars in this car until finally I was like, all right, I got 2 options. Is 1, I can keep putting money into this car and it's gonna stack up, or 2, I can calculate how much it would cost to get a brand new car and never have to worry about this problem again. And so what you wanna think about is how can I make one decision to solve this problem once that I never have to think or worry about it ever again. Number 3, simplicity scales and complexity fails. And I see this all too often with entrepreneurs. They want to try this funnel, they want to try this strategy, they want to try this tactic, and they have shiny object syndrome and shiny strategy syndrome. And there's this thing called the line of success, right? And what happens is you don't stay focused on one thing long enough to achieve and go across that line. So if the line of success is 100%, what happens is you try this one strategy and you get to 25%. Then you try this other strategy and you get to 25%. Then you try this other tactic and you get to 25%. And you try this other strategy, you get to 25%. All of these things add up to 100%, but you never cross the line of success because your focus is split, right? And so you wanna keep things simple and you wanna use one strategy. And the reason why this is important is because if you think about it, the English language that we use is built off of 26 letters. Right? Books, videos, film, like all of these complex things with different meanings, but it's all built off of simple 26 letters. So again, simplicity scales and complexity fails. Number 4, you're the captain of the ship and you're responsible for making sure that the ship goes down and everything else is expendable. So back in November, right before my daughter was due, I had to make a really tough decision. It was to continue to use the model that I had for my business, or I needed to put it on autopilot and have some recurring revenue coming in, because over the next 90 days, I didn't know what my schedule was gonna be like, and it was gonna be unpredictable. So before, sales was the unpredictable thing in my business because one month I could have 15 sales, one month I could have 30 sales. So what I had to do was make sure that the revenue was coming in was consistent, because now my time was gonna be inconsistent, and that was an inconsistent variable. So with that being said, what I had to do was make sure that I did things that were right for the business, which means I had to let some people go. I had to restructure some things, and some people that were in positions, I had to move the roles. Because again, the most important thing as a CEO is making sure that you protect the ship. And this is tough because sometimes you have relationships and partners with people and you make promises, but then again, those are emotional ties that you have in business. But the most important thing is you need to base it off data and do what's best for the P&L and best for the business. So number 4, the most important thing is make sure that the ship doesn't go down. So number 5, it's the first principles theories. And I learned this from Elon Musk, which is the reason why he has so much success and he comes into industries and takes them by storm is because most people think that you need all of these things in order for a thing to work. And he operates from something from first principles, which means what are the proven things and the theory that makes this thing operate. So let's just take a car, for example. He knew you needed an engine, right? You needed wheels and you needed a steering wheel, right? And you need a strong metal in order to have a car. And obviously you need some other things, but you get the point that I'm trying to make. So then that means that everything else, right, was expendable that you didn't need. And he stripped all of those things out first. He eliminated everything. And then if the car wouldn't move, then he would add one thing to it. And he would keep it very, very simple. And so for me in my business, I was trying group funnels, YouTube ads, I was trying Andrew Tate's strategy, Iman Gadzhi's strategy. And what happened is I also started to have this shiny strategy syndrome. And then when I took a step back in those 90 days that I had time off, I broke my business back down to first principles. What was the most important components of running a successful online business? Well, number one is solving a problem, right? Number two is having a mechanism that can help the person solve that problem in a specific way, identifying a niche, and then the conversion process, which was automated advertising to a mechanism that converted them into booking a call and then doing sales calls, right? And all of this can be summed up with Facebook ads to a VSL funnel. And when I started and went back to that, that means that I could remove 90% of the things that I was doing. And quite frankly, I was able to double my business in that 90 days. Number 6, white space on the calendar is good. So when I first started my business and I was just trying to get to that first 6-figure level, I had appointments, mindset, coaching, watching videos. I had my business really regimented out because I was working on the business. And they say that the first million is always the hardest, and it's true. And the reason why is because when you're trying to get to that first million, you're trying any and everything. You're trying to get product market fit, you're trying to dial in sales, right? You're trying to dial in client acquisition. But once you prove those things out to the marketplace and you get to 1 million, now you need to start working on a predictable process to scale. And so what I realized is that when I didn't have any white space, I couldn't see the trees in the forest, meaning I was working in the business as opposed to on it. And as a CEO, you have to look at the macro and the micro, meaning you need to have some day-to-day things that you work on that are money-generating activities for the business, and then everything else, all the rest of your energy needs to be focused on the mission, vision, and principles of where your company is gonna go over the next 1 to 5 years. And you need white space for that. You need time on the calendar to think, to plan, right? And these are high-level tasks that are $10,000 per hour activities. So in saying that, you need to have a minimum of 2 hours per day to think about the mission, vision, and principles in your business once you get past $1 million per year mark. Number 7, reading has to become a priority for you to scale from 7 figures to 8 figures, right? And there's a saying that readers are leaders and learners ultimately end up dropping the L and become earners. And the reason why this is important is because you need to focus. And if you don't know what to focus on, a lot of things will become distractions because now you're no longer worried about finances and you've had some success. So now you think everything that comes across your desk or anything that your hand touches will turn to gold. And if you're not reading about what successful entrepreneurs who've come before you, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, Alex Hormozi, all of these people, if you're not staying focused on those things, you know, your attention can drift. You can get into trying to do real estate investing, Airbnb, and like all these things, and you won't keep the main thing, right? And so reading is a pivotal portion because what happens is it feeds your mind new ideas on how to innovate on the thing that's already working. And like Alex Hormozi says, do the boring work. And finally, number 8, if you want to scale your business and you want to attract A players, it's not going to happen organically. You got to treat it like cracking paid ads. So what we've done is we've taken the same VSL funnel process and we created a hiring funnel, right? We have an ad that goes out, and if anybody's interested, they fill out a form, then they watch a video about our company, and then after that, then they can book a call. And then from there, we'll look through the applications and decipher who, based off of what we see on paper, is a good fit for our business. And until I did this, I always relied on third parties, so I thought that it was gonna be very difficult to find people. But again, if you just focus on doing that, it becomes really, really easy to find people, because good people are always looking for good opportunities. And if you have a good opportunity, then you can sell somebody on leaving that company and coming to work for you. And the one thing that I did figure out is that everybody that you already need is already around you, and they're only away from you from 1 degree of separation. So if you want to build a solid business, you're gonna need A players, and you're gonna have to get good at recruiting. So hope this video was valuable. I'll see you in the next one.